complex fractions.
1 second.
So I told you complex fractions are fractions and fractions, and that's partly true. It is true, but it's fractions in fractions in fractions. Okay, so what I mean by that, is we have this great big fraction, and up top, we're going to be adding or subtracting some fractions. And down in the bottom, we're going to be adding or subtracting some fractions. Okay? And then, so what we're going to do is we're going to simplify up top first. And when I say simplify, I mean we're actually going to subtract those two fractions. And this is a really easy one, starting you out easy. Then we're going to simplify the bottom. And then we're going to take the simplified top and we're going to multiply it by the flip of the bottom right. Bottom reciprocal. And set this one up for you the way I do it, because I think my way is easiest, because I think it's the best. Okay. So I have x over 6 minus x over 3, and you already have this written down, so no need to recopy this. I divide this into 3 separate problems because looking at it the way it is gives me a headache, okay, because it looks very complicated. So first, I'm going to do the top, and so I start with the top, okay? I say x over 6 minus x over 3. Well, if I just look at those two fractions, it's not as bad. What is the LCD of 6 and 3? 12. Right? Least oh, yes. Durr, what am I doing? All right, 6. LCD is 6. So this needs a 2, yes? All right, so now I've forced LCDs. They're the same, so I'm going to combine the numerator over the LCD. So I've got x minus 2x over 6, which is negative 1x over 6. That is the top of my fraction simplified. Do we all agree? Yes. Okay. To find the LCD, because the LCD is 6. So I need to get them to be the same. Yes, Justin.
Well, you see 2 times x minus 2x.
From the original problem. The original problem was x over 6 minus x over 3. Shh. Guys, I need y'all's attention here. Okay. All right, on the bottom. Yes, the LCD.
You can't leave somebody behind.
X over 5 minus 7 over 10. What is the LCD? 10. If you do not understand how to find the LCD when there are but numbers in there, if you write this as a prime factorization, you will see this has 5. I don't need to repeat, and I have a 2, so this one needs a 2. Does that make sense to everyone in here? To combine the numerators, I have 2x minus 7 over 10. Is anyone confused by that? So now I need to combine. Do the top, which is negative x over 6 times, and we're going to flip this bottom since we're really dividing. It's top divided by bottom. So I have 10 over 2x minus 7. Is anybody confused? Up top, I have negative 10x And on the bottom, I'm going to leave it written like this because remember, we want everything factored down as far as we can, right? Some of you are confused about when we simplify, when we cancel out, and when we don't. At this point, since this is a factor, I can divide both of these by 2. I don't mess with this parentheses because you don't do it to more than one piece. You just do it to 2 terms. So if I divide the negative 10x by 2, and if I divide the 6 by 2, there's my final answer. Huh, it's not too bad, right? I want to do one more that's slightly harder with some variables in here with you.
Wait, so where did the 2 come from? Like we divided it by 2.
I divided the top and the bottom by 2. So I divided this by 2 and this by 2. Simplify, just to simplify. Oh, I need to record this. 6 over x minus 5 plus 1 over x over 3 over x minus 2 over. So these look terrible. But if you break them up into 3 separate problems, it's really 3 easy problems. These are not, don't tend to get as nasty. You'll have one that's kind of a stickler tonight, but other than that. So again, the key here is being able to add and subtract, right? If you can't add or subtract the fractions, whoo! Stop first. All right, 6 over x minus 5. None of these even need to be factored any further. They're good to go. What's the LCD? X minus 5. X. Because this is a factor. You don't want to do that. You want to leave it in factored form. Because the goal is that you make each one of these look just like the LCD, right? What's the first fraction missing? X. Give it what it's missing. What's the second one missing? So 6x plus x minus 5. Yes. That's the top. Again, this is nothing new. This is exactly what we've been doing for 2 days with the adding and subtracting. Exactly what some of us have been doing for 2 days with adding and subtracting. Others of us, I don't know. Yes, no, maybe so? Which sign? This is x minus 5 is a factor and x is a factor. I put them together for the LCD. Can we do the bottom now? No? Okay. All right, 3 over x. Oh, this looks familiar. Looks like the LCDs are the same. What's the LCD? X minus 5, or x minus 5 times x. The first one needs what? X minus 5. The second one needs what? I have 3x minus 15 minus 2x. Yes. Anybody confused at this point? This is, by the way, the back part of 5.5. This is about a third of that section, the third that I left off the other day. Concept's not hard, but I think it's a lot to have learned addition, subtraction, and yeah. That's the goal. All right. First one. Yes, that's absolutely correct. So I'm multiplying, and several of you have seen this already, that these cancel out completely because they're exactly the same. So now it's just 7x minus 5 over x minus 15. So, for this one,